Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Katie, we're back with another episode, and I'm pretty damn excited to have this return guest on the show. He was the first Christian musician we ever had on the show when we were doing Five Iron February. And he had such a good time. He texted me and was like, I legitimately want to come back and just talk about the stuff I grew up on. So I am so excited to welcome Andy back to the podcast. Andy, you have us diving into something that I know but don't know, right?
Same.
We're talking about Stryper. And I will say that Five Iron was an early you guys introduced Stryper into my basic wheelhouse on the live album. On the Proof That the Youth Are Exploding, you start off with Race yelling.
Revolting.
Yeah, sorry,
Revolting.
You start with Reese yelling to hell with the devil, and someone was like, "Oh, that's a Stryper reference," and I know that song because that song rules, but I never dug any deeper. So when I hit play on this, I mean, this is an album that I have track by track my feelings kind of waver, but man, the opening track on this album fucking rips. This song rules,
dude. It's badass, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's so good.
Do you want a little background on that, or do you want to
let's
just jump right into the album?
Well, so the thing that I wrote down, I pulled a very quick note about it. This is the second release from Stryper, but their first full-length studio album. It was released of August of 1985, so it's celebrating 40 years this year. And it was the first Christian metal album to achieve gold record status. It sold more than 500,000 copies. So this was a huge deal.
Yeah.
So Andy, what was the point? Were you in '85 rocking out to Stryper, or did this come into your life a little bit later?
And I mean, it had to have been I don't know when my brother moved to Denver, but it had to have been 81 maybe.
Okay.
And he got really plugged into this sort of Pentecostal church, and they had this thing called a door scene, which is basically it's actually pretty fucked up when I think about it now, but back then it was pretty cool because it was these bands that would play you've heard of the band Apologetics, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I know the theologian term, but
So the Apologetics attempted to be Christian Weird Al. They would take radio songs and turn them into Christian songs.
Right, at which you need to do an episode on apologetics.
Deal.
For sure. But they did it unironically. They did it because they thought it was cool. So, but I got my sister-in-law and my brother gave me a mixtape, and I dug the music and everything, and I that was the first time I'd ever really experienced live music.
Okay.
So I was way into it. I was real little too. So my sister-in-law and my brother gave me a little mixtape, and on that mixtape was Steve Taylor,
Okay.
Petra,
Yeah.
okay.
Rez Band,
Not familiar with that one.
Resurrection Band.
Okay.
Short for Resurrection Band.
Got it. Okay.
They were kind of a big deal in the late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
And then it had a couple of Stryper songs on it from Yellow and Black Attack. And this was probably 84 or something like that. This was after
Okay.
I'd gone out to visit them. And I was like, this is fucking cool, right? So I mean, obviously I didn't say fucking cool, but I'm saying I'm saying it
Saying
now.
it now. Yeah. Yeah.
And I forget what Petra album was on there. It was one of the early ones.
Well, the big thing I know Petra for, honestly, is writing the original version of "God Gave Rock and Roll to You" that was later made.
No, this was.
Oh no, they didn't do the original one. They did a cover of it. But yes.
Yeah. I started to do this deep dive on Christian heavy metal because I was already into. Iron Maiden was and still is one of my all-time favorite bands.
Yeah.
So I was already, being a
Metalhead.
adolescent kid growing up in the 80s, it was kind of hard not to either be into early hip hop or heavy metal.
Yeah.
Because it was all over MTV.
Yeah.
So I was already into heavy metal, and then I kind of started, I kind of dug the whole church thing and everything. And even though it was very manipulative and some really so you guys did a thing on a Thief in the Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I'd ever seen that was in this church, and I was probably 11 or 12 years old.
No, that's too early for that movie.
Yeah. Well, that was the goal, right? To scare you young, right?
Yeah.
I mean, super gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I forget where I was going with that. Oh, but I kind of got scared into the faith, and I was like, well, the devil's real, and if I'm not good, and I'm not, anytime I sin, if I don't ask forgiveness right away, I'm going to wake up one day and everyone I know and love is going to be disappeared, and I'm going to be by myself. And, so it's super messed up. So I kind of became kind of afraid of all this quote unquote secular music and went hard into like Christian heavy metal because that was the style of music that I liked. So, and my early exposure to it, not that Steve Taylor, Petra, or Rez Band are heavy metal by any stretch of the imagination. Although I will say about Steve Taylor, he's a bro, dude.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he was kind of ahead of the curve on, I think, where a lot of the a little bit more like progressive Christian stuff was like he was really ahead of that curve musically than a lot of the others.
And when Until This Shakes Apart came out, he sent Reese a long email about like, love the record and your lyrics are so good and you're saying all the things that need to be said right now. Like I was like, fucking right on, Steve Taylor. Like
I got chills. Yeah, that's so cool.
He's a bro for sure.
Yeah.
I love that.
And the album Meltdown and I Want to Be a Clone, those two albums were the first albums I got into from Steve Taylor. The only two really, but super important to me and was sort of there's a through line there to Stryper. Right. So then Stryper was the first band I got sort of introduced to that was heavy metal, and I dug it really hard. And but then there was like all of the I call them the cross bands. So there's Barren Cross, Neon Cross, and White Cross, right? And all of these Christian heavy metal bands had like the secular counterpart, right? So Barren Cross was like the Christian Iron Maiden. And then White Cross was the Christian Scorpion / Rat, right? And then there was a band called Deliverance that was kind of like the Christian Testament. There's a band called Bloodgood, actually, that I was actually in a play at my church based on one of their albums.
What?
The album Detonation.
I gotta be honest though. We're gonna talk about Stryper here, but before I heard Stryper, one of my favorite Christian metal songs was actually from Whitecross. That In the Kingdom song, I still think kind of rips.
Nice.
That
Nice.
song's awesome.
Yeah. I saw Whitecross in concert at North
I bet
High
they
School.
put on a good show.
It was all right. I mean, it was in a high school gymnasium.
Yeah.
So, as good as you can get. We've done quite a few of those ourselves, so I have no room to talk.
I think the thing that you're starting to get to, and it was what went through my head listening to Soldiers Under Command, is like, I think Stryper gets lumped into the glam hair metal genre. And I mean, they definitely are. Like, they check all of those boxes. But this opening track, there's like a little bit of like Metallica-ishness in that opening guitar riff and drumming.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it has like they are definitely, and I know that, like, my friends, I'm friends with Krista Makes, who does Krista Makes a podcast, and he talks about all the time, like, make fun of Stryper all you want. Like, Michael Sweet is still one of the best guitarist vocalists in all of the 80s. Like, he is insanely talented.
Undeniable.
Oh, the dude. So Oz and Michael, great guitar players.
Yeah.
Michael Sweet, an amazing singer.
Yeah.
And when we get to Makes Me Want to Sing, there's like a 4-part harmony, dude. And it's like on that. Yeah. It's really cool. But did you know that there is a Catholic Stryper?
No.
Oh, no.
What's Catholic Stryper?
I'll see if you can guess what they're called. It's really on the nose, dude. It's super on the nose.
Does it involve Mary somehow?
No,
okay.
no. They were called Mass.
Mass.
They have a few albums.
Not to be confused with Black Mass, just regular Mass.
Just Mass. Yeah, and they were like the Catholic answer to Stryper. And there was a band called Sacred Warrior that was really trying hard to be Queensryche, which I don't like either of those bands. But and then later on, there were some really good Christian bands, like really good Christian bands. There's a band, one of my favorite all-time bands, and I'm actually friends with their bass player, who is also in Stavesacre, a band called The Crucified, and that was like early punk rock, Christian punk rock.
Yeah.
Nice.
There was a band called Vengeance Rising that was a Christian death metal band. They were like the first one to do that. I don't know if you ever heard of a band called King's X.
I have heard. So I just found out about King's X. Like, because they were on the, like, I've had the Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey soundtrack for most of my life, and they're on that. Okay. But I didn't realize that they were a Christian group until very recently. I watched a video about them on YouTube, and every time that they played a clip from any song, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of great."
It was, but they're not super heavy-handed with it.
I think they were one of the first, like, hey, we're not a Christian band, we're Christians in a band. Like, I think they were one of the early adopters of that.
I love that became a thing to a certain extent, because this especially Soldiers Under Command in this first song, I was like, okay, strong start. But my God, these vocals are incredible. And then I was like, that lick is insane. I was just like, but these lyrics, though.
I was going to say all the positives we can throw at Michael Sweet, but lyricist, I don't think is one of his like strong suits.
They're pretty pedestrian.
They are, and you and I were texting about it earlier, Andy, because I had messaged my friend Scott, who's a huge metalhead, and I was like, my God, like, I really have been sleeping on how good some of this Stryper stuff is, but the lyrics are so bad. And he was like, I'm never one to jump to the defense of a Christian band, but he was like, their lyrics are just as cheesy as any 80s band that was writing satanic lyrics at that time too. Like,
that's true.
It always was very ham-fisted and like in your face with it.
And to my point in our little text message,
you said
exchange,
the same thing. I mentioned the lyrics. Yeah. You're like, well, there was also some really cheesy satanic bands writing bad stuff too.
Well, and then a lot of the hair metal bands that were singing about like girls and stuff like that. That was pretty fucking corny too. There's a band. There's a band called Trouble that kind of, they were pretty big, and then they had a big hit in the 90s, but their stuff is really, they're kind of like stoner doom metal
Ooh,
Oh,
I do
interesting.
kind
love,
of stuff.
I love stoner
Uh,
doom metal, actually.
Yeah, and they're also one of those bands that's kind of like, we're not a Christian band, we're Christians that are in a
In a
metal
band.
band.
From
And then
78. Jesus.
yeah, but they're badass, dude. For
Yeah.
real, they're a good
Okay.
band.
I mean, they put
and-
out stuff on Metal Blade. That's like no joke. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And then the last band I want to put out there is this band called Believer. They
Okay.
have an album called Extraction from Mortality, which is
Ooh, that's familiar.
fucking fantastic. It is a
Okay.
great record. And I'm saying this, I don't know what their politics are. I know
Yeah.
that they are a Christian band, but like, I'm trying to separate art from artists a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Sure. Yeah.
especially when it comes to Stryper.
I was going to
There's
say,
some
Michael
real
Sweet's been
pro-
very, very public about his Donald Trump votes.
Yeah, and Oz Fox too. In fact, Micah was telling me that he sort of called out because he was friends with Oz Fox. We
Mhm.
met them. Well, Five Iron got to meet them. We played
Nice.
We played some shows with them, a couple of festivals where we were on the same bill. That's a whole nother story. But Micah kind of called him Oz Fox out on all of the MAGA stuff, and I guess Oz blocked him.
I was going to say when
I
I
don't
was
know the
trying to
full-
figure out the Michael Sweet stuff I did see, and I thought of you guys in Five Iron immediately, but like one of the more recent articles was Michael Sweet thinks that bands should keep the politics out of their lyrics, and I was like, well,
Oh, come on now.
and he's really not going to be happy with the last two Five Iron releases.
Well, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about politics and lyrics.
Yeah.
That's
truthfully.
right, Andy.
I mean, politics have been in music fucking day one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
sorry. And,
Yeah.
Part of it, part of it.
It's the same as when people ask like comedians to keep politics out of comedy. It's like you realize that like comedians are like modern day philosophers, right? Like it's their job essentially to talk about this stuff.
I think it's generous to call them philosophers, but
Well, they're supposed to be.
Depending on the
good
comedian.
one. A good one is.
sure.
But I think that's kind of just in general. Art in general is inherently political because you're commentating on just everything around you, your experience, what's happening around you. And that was when I was like, really, every single one of these songs that started with like just the hardest openings that I was just like, oh, here we go. And I was just waiting for the lyrics to drop in. I was just like, man, this could have been so killer.
Well, I'll tell you what was my biggest letdown, honestly, is the last track, because I'm listening to it
The
and I
Battle Hymn
can
of the
see
Republic.
I'm hearing all these amazing songs, and I'm like, ooh, the closing track is they're covering the Battle Hymn of the Republic, and in my head I can hear this awesome like metal cover of it, and then it's like pretty close to just a bare bones cover of the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Like I'm like, oh, what a letdown for a closer, because there's a version where you could rip this for like a 4-minute guitar blazing epic cover, and I was so disappointed. I was ready for it to be my favorite track on the album,
Yeah, same.
and I was very let down.
It's weird because like I have the same feeling about Stryper that I do about the first 3 Danzig records. So I love the first 3 Danzig records. Danzig himself is an extremely problematic person.
Yeah.
Real. So I like,
but
I
not the
have
most
this-
problematic singer of the Misfits, weirdly enough.
I think that probably is either Michael Graves or Jerry Only is pretty problematic as well.
Really, just the Misfits in general.
in
Love their
general.
music, but there's not really a particularly great member of the Misfits for most of their career.
Very factual. But yeah, I mean, I feel the same way because like those first 3 Danzig records came out when I was in high school, and I was obsessed with them
Yeah.
because they were just really dark blues rock records,
That's huge.
kind of kind of flirting with metal a little bit, but not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Stryper. Like those first three releases, the first three releases are awesome. When you get to In God We Trust, it gets really fucking lame after that. But those first three releases, like, man, there is some banger tracks on there.
I remember. Do you remember when they were in the news? I have to double check to make sure I'm not making up this album title. I remember they got some flack in the last like 10 years because of the name of their release. Because they put out an album in 2018, kind of playing on the same concept of "To Hell with the Devil," that was called
Hell to Pay.
"Goddamn Evil."
Oh yeah, that's right.
People-
Goddamn evil. Well, they had an album called Against the Law.
Yeah.
They had an album called Hell to Pay, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, "Murder by Pride." Like, there's
Yeah. Honestly, it kind of gets silly,
Yeah.
yeah.
you know, as as the catalog gets longer and longer. It's just. But those first three records, dude. I mean, they were seminal for me.
Yeah. It's also weird that they just keep
even as
putting
a
out
musician.
albums. Like, it's because you look at like Poison, you know what I mean? Like, Poison's not dropping new records in 2025. They're like hitting the road and playing the songs that people want to hear off their early records and just collecting. I don't know why Stryper thinks that we need more Stryper in 2024.
I'm going to challenge you on that.
Uh-oh. Did they put out? I'm looking up Poison now. Did they put out a new record?
No. It has nothing to do with Poison.
Okay.
I don't know why anyone should have to stop making music if they're still passionate about it.
That is true.
Good point.
I'm just
It's a very
saying
good
that they
point.
don't need to be.
If they want to, if they want to make music and they love making music, then they should keep making music and
For sure.
keep releasing it. And if somebody's listening to it,
Cool.
who am I, dude? I'm in a mediocre fucking ska band.
That is true. I was about to say no one cares about hair metal in 2025, but I guess people could say the same about ska music for a very small portion of the world.
Yeah, and I've heard people say, you know, oh, why are they should retire? They're too old. Dude, I have zero plans of ever retiring from music completely.
Oh, good.
I might not, you know, be making records or whatever, but
Still gonna do it.
I plan on taking it to the grave.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
So,
I literally
and
was in the car listening to Until This Shakes very recently thinking, man, we're overdue for a new one of these. So, yeah, I guess there's always someone who wants more from a
Sure.
band that they love. So I rescind that negative comment.
I mean, even if Poison was still making records, which I don't know how that would even be possible,
Yeah.
knowing the problematic nature of that, just their behavior.
Yeah.
But I mean, Motley Crue's still doing it,
Yeah.
for better or worse.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's the thing. So many of those bands, I think so many of those 80s bands, it always was like three guys who were acceptable at their job and then like one dude who was the
Insane.
like music genius in it. Like with Motley Crue, to me, it was always like Mick Mars, right? Like Mick Mars
yeah.
was the guy, and then the rest, like they're not bad at what they do, but they're definitely not like the best drummer, best vocalist you'll ever hear. And I think for like a lot of it was the guitarists. A lot of those hair metal guitarists can rip on the guitar. But
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
they're playing songs about girls in cars, and it sounds a little cheesy and lame. But then those guitar solos kick in, and you're like, "This is crazy that this dude is this good on the guitar."
Right, and which I think that's the thing that is, I think probably the hardest thing for a lot of these hair metal bands as they get older. Their music isn't aging with them.
Yeah. Oh, especially with the
You
vocalists.
know what I mean?
You listen to those isolated tracks of even like Axl Rose right now, and it's just like,
Oof.
it's like, homeboy, you're not going to be able to hit the notes that you used to be able to hit when you were in your 20s, man. Like that's especially the hard life of drugs and alcohol and partying that you've lived. Like those vocal cords are long gone. Like it's rough.
I got free tickets to go see Guns N' Roses, and the only songs that were any good I mean, it was a rough night, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, they were not good.
Oh.
But the songs that Duff was singing on, Duff
Yeah.
McKagan, they were great.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And I mean, they were more like three chord punk songs. I think he did a Ramones cover and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
But he was the only. I mean, Slash was not good.
yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Whoever they had playing drums, I mean, he's a hired hand, so he's gonna be good.
Sure.
Yeah.
But and Duff was good, but yeah, Slash and
Bummer,
Axl.
man.
Oof.
It's a bummer to experience that. It's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, at least it was free because they ain't cheap tickets to see
No.
a band massacre their hits.
going to see any band these days is
Hard.
expensive.
I've
Yeah.
been like, I'm already a big Weird Al fan, but when I bought 2 tickets to see Weird Al and it was under $100 for both tickets, I was like, okay, well, he's doing it right, I guess. Like, when else can you ever get 2 concert tickets for under $100? Like, that's unheard of in this day and age.
My son and I really wanted to go see Turnstile, but tickets were like well over $100 a piece,
Which
and I
is
was like,
crazy. That's kind of why I think, even though they were never like my favorite band in the world, I think what All American Rejects has been doing has been so fucking cool, where they've just been on a tour of parking lots for free. They've just been showing up in cities, setting up and playing, and their whole thing was like, hey, we're in an economic crisis. We're doing all right because we had a bunch of songs that like pay our bills. So instead of charging our fans to have to come see a concert, we're just going to bring a free concert to them. And I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
that's so cool. Like, that's awesome. And it makes me want to listen to them more than I currently listen to them, because that's like that is a genuine punk rock spirit of just like the music's for the people.
Yeah.
So like,
for sure.
Yeah.
I love that. You mentioned we've really been sharing a lot of celebration for the opening track here, but you did mention "Makes Me Want to Sing," which, like you said, has this awesome 4-part harmony. But the biggest problem that I have with "Makes Me Want to Sing" is, my God, this chorus of "Jesus makes me want to sing, Jesus King of Kings" could have been ripped straight out of the hymnal in my church pew. Like,
I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many lyrics that felt like they were ripped straight out of the hymnal of these.
Well, Katie,
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell you this.
But
Battle
you
Hymn
have
of the
to-
Republic is a song.
Now, I'm aware of that. As a frozen chosen Presbyterian former, I'm very aware of that. But yeah, no, I thought it was also very funny that, like, I was like, is this the first time "Lift Up Your Hands"? Like, this whole was this presented in
That
actual music?
Stryper presented the idea of lifting
Lifting
your
up
hands
your
while
hands.
listening to worship music.
But when they sing that Jesus, that word,
Yeah.
it's, man, like that harmony is so
It
cool.
is-
And then
It is
Really
sick.
beautiful. It's really beautiful. Yeah.
I literally wish he was singing anything else in that moment, because it
Sing.
sounds so good.
or like just the tag on it, like Jesus, but then when he says "makes me want to sing," I'm like,
yeah, it just it feels gross.
Yeah.
Makes me want to sing
Yeah.
might be the lamest lyric ever in a heavy metal song. Like, just
Yeah.
like, period. No
My-
matter
my
what
note is,
you're looking at.
LOL, I was so hopeful for these lyrics, but they would be that they would be less on the nose, but oh boy, here we go.
It doesn't get any better throughout the record.
No.
Lyrics wise.
Because the
I think
music
it
is
was-
so good, though, and that's the thing that I've never heard a band that was so inverted, with like the lyrics being really lame and then the music going so hard.
Yeah. This was also like, and Andy, you were probably more on the forefront of this than most, but like, it seems like it felt like Christian culture and Christian trying to connect with the youth was always like a couple years behind the trend, right? Like, Ska Mania 98 is happening kind of as radio stations are done playing ska bands on the radio. Like, it's always just like, just kind of missed it. This was Stryper, one of the first times that they were just like there on the front lines as the popular music was happening, because this is like, we're talking 85, 84,
Yellow and
85.
Black.
Like, that's the same time as Motley Crue doing their thing.
Right.
Yeah, like so God, when did Shout at the Devil come out?
Let me check. I think it's
That
83
had
or
to have been-
84.
Yeah, and that's around the same time
83.
that yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So and as I recall, so all right, so Stryper used to be called Rock's Regime
Yes.
before they were called Stryper, and they were just a regular old like heavy metal band, like not necessarily singing about like like
Jesus.
debauchery and stuff like that,
Okay.
but singing about maybe like cars and whatever. I'd never heard any of the Rock's Regime stuff, so I am guessing, but I know they weren't like a quote unquote Christian band. It wasn't until they changed the name to Stryper and adopted Isaiah 43 whatever,
Right.
Yeah.
by his stripes were healed. Yeah. 53, I can't remember the verse, but whatever.
It's like on their album cover. Let me just look at it. Isaiah
It's on-
53:5.
It's
all of their
Isaiah
album
53:5.
Yeah.
53.5. Okay. So anyway, before that they were just a regular rock band, and as I recall, the same person. It's funny because you're bringing up Poison and you're bringing up Motley Crue. The same person that was managing, I think it was their manager. It was a lady. She managed first. She was managing Motley Crue, and then she left Motley Crue and started managing Stryper. And she was like, "I'm not fucking with this at all." So she ended up moving over to Poison.
Okay.
Wow.
Started managing them. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting,
Yeah.
like how those. And the thing is that this is all that Hollywood.
I was going to say they were on the Sunset Strip because
Sunset Strip.
they're in the Nothing But a Good Time book that I have on my
Right.
shelf. That's like the oral history of the '80s hair metal scene. I just learned a word that I didn't know existed. But
Okay.
do you guys know what a backronym is?
Backronym. I'm guessing it's something like an acronym, but toward the back.
So it is a word that means when you create an acronym after the fact. So the word isn't an acronym, but you're like, well, it is an acronym now.
Robert Sweet came up with a backronym for
Stryper. Salvation
Yeah, yeah.
through redemption, yielding peace, encouragement, and righteousness.
Yeah. It was wild, dude. It was weird. It's so yucky.
It's so yucky.
Like not like.
He shouldn't be
That
in
doesn't
charge of
even
lyrics.
remotely roll off the tongue.
It's just
Not
like
catchy
But
at
that
all.
wasn't. But that wasn't Michael. That was Robert.
Yeah, that's the drummer.
Came up with that. Yeah.
okay, but still, no one
from-
should be doing any of the words. Like, someone needs to be flown in for the lyrics or like any of the messaging.
Right.
I do have to laugh because my note for the next song, we get to Together Forever, and I wrote, it's fine, but it's not as good as the Rick Ashley song of the same name.
Dude. Yeah. Can we go just really
Yeah.
quick on It Makes Me Want to Sing? The drums and vocal break.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always love a good drum and vocal break
Yeah.
where it's just the drums and the vocals. And I want to, like, we're talking a lot about Oz and Michael Sweet, but Robert Sweet was, until to this day, is a huge influence on my playing.
Cool.
Okay.
Huge.
Nice.
I learned those parts for those, especially these first 3 records. I learned them note for note, like
Shit,
that. I sat in my garage and learned every single song, with the exception of the fucking lame ass ballads.
Okay. It's like
I was
I
gonna
was
say,
the downbeat songs.
next up is this song First Love, which was the first song where I was like, I am fully not
Dude.
interested in this song, and it's
No.
so long. It's almost 6 minutes. It doesn't need to be the song, but the one saving grace, the guitar solo in this song is
It's
amazing.
great. It's great.
But the ride to get to that solo is not worth
It's hard.
the ticket.
Really quick, can we talk about the opening to Together Forever?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who is the low voice? Because it is so weird.
I don't know.
Together forever. What?
I put
Why did you? Why did you include that in the?
part of me wants to make a really 80s Christian parody movie and then have this as the end title credit song. You know, it just kind of fits.
And to be fair, I don't hate Together Forever. Yeah. Like you said, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's kind of a little bit bluesy. Kind of got some weird 50s like choo-wop type stuff in there.
There's a couple songs that I feel like if you remove the ballads completely, this album is never worse than fine. You know what I mean? Like it's like I think it sucks that it starts with such an amazing song because it does do a disservice to all of the other 9 tracks that come after, because every track after it I'm like, this is good, but it's no Soldiers Under Command.
Though my favorite song is not Soldiers. My favorite song is Surrender.
Ooh, interesting.
Surrender is pretty good. I did write Surrender's probably my second favorite song on the album.
See, so it was great, and I was confused by that weird echo that was happening in that, but the guitar like really, really hit for me. I thought everything I liked, despite the lyrics. I thought the Rock That Makes Me Roll had like a really solid everything to it.
Yeah, that's a good tune.
And then I heard the lyrics and I was like, it could be anything else.
Yeah. The Rock That Makes Me Roll is when I wrote down the note. I think Mike Judge should have put Stewart in a Stryper shirt instead of a Winger shirt. I think that, and I almost wonder if he did put it in a Winger shirt instead because Stryper was too easy of a punchline at that point. But I'm like, this is like the Rock That Makes Me Roll. As much as I like this song, it gives me the flashbacks to me as a kid trying to convince my friends to listen to a Christian artist instead of whatever they're listening to, and like the hurdle that they would have to be getting over to listen to a song called The Rock That Has to Roll. Like it's just, even the name is so lame. It is such a lame title.
It is.
But like, if you think about like the Christian rock that came before that, it's really dead on, because like Larry Norman and Rez Band was another one. Like all of their songs were like what? You know, we're trying to work in like Jesus is the rock,
right?
Yeah,
and rock and roll, and
why should the devil have all the good music? Like all that just weird.
Yeah.
Dude, there was a band, independent Christian rock band on that mixtape called DIA, which was an acronym for Disciples in Action.
I actually feel like I've heard of Disciples in Action.
That's hilarious because my dad created a group at his church called CIA, with Christ in Action. I nearly brought that up earlier, but interesting.
But they had a song called Jesus is the Washing Machine.
Okay.
Oh, no.
From God or something like that. But very almost like, we're all brainwashed.
Yeah.
He's washing our brains.
Around and around and around.
That's really
but
unfortunate.
Massive cringe.
I don't know. I don't mind Rock That Makes Me Roll. I like that. I like the first part of the chorus, the stand up and fight.
That's the thing. I was like, oh, okay, like that feels almost
even
like
for what you believe in.
Yeah.
But what they really mean is for what we believe in.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And then they forced the Rock Making Me Roll, and I was just like, oh, it's just so bad, because like that call to action of like stand up for what you believe in was like, oh, this could be such a good protest song. This is such a like, oh yeah, and then everything else is like, oh, but it's so lame.
I would say the song that had the least cringy lyrics for me was the song after this, Reach Out. I was like, all right, this feels the closest to one that could like almost fly under the radar to someone who isn't paying attention, where it's like, oh, this is just like a, hey buddy, just reach out, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here, you can It's like the theme song to Gilmore Girls. You just call, and I'll follow.
I love how much into Gilmore Girls you're being right now.
Another good drum and vocal breakdown in that song too.
Yes.
No,
yeah.
there is. I want to stress for the people who are listening who maybe like me, Stryper was like a thing that they heard of but never like really dove into. As much as we are like kind of punching down a little bit on the lyrics. Yeah. Musically, like you need to listen to just some of this. It is insane how good the musicianship is.
There is a reason why they had like number one hits on the two follow-up records to this. They had, to Hell with the Devil and In God We Trust. Both of those albums, I think they both went platinum.
Oh wow!
Am I right about that?
Let me check on that. Yes.
Okay.
It was To Hell with the Devil was the first Christian metal album to achieve platinum status, selling over 1 million copies, and it remained the best-selling Christian metal album until 2001 when POD put out Satellite.
Really?
So they held that for like 15 years, basically.
Wow.
As a contractor, I don't pay for materials I don't use. So why would I pay for stuff I don't need in my mobile plan? That's why my Biz plan from Verizon Business is so perfect. Now I can choose exactly what I want, and I only pay for what I need.
Right now, with my Biz plan, get our best price, as low as $25 a line. Visit Verizon.com/business to get started today. New lines only. Price per month with 5+ lines. Includes auto pay and paper-free billing and promotional discounts. Taxes, fees, economic adjustment charge. Applicable add-ons, prices, and terms apply. Guarantee applies to base monthly rate and stated discounts only. Add-on prices additional. Offers in March 31st, 2026.
Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Meanwhile, in New Jersey...
So, Marissa, what talking points do you want to hit on in this week's episode?
Well, Jackie, let's talk about how the film addresses the patriarchy. Ooh, and representation of marginalized people. Ooh, and even philosophical ramifications of good versus evil in horror.
We can point out the triangle boobs, talk about the blood splatter, and the practical effects. And also the male gaze.
My gaze at the males.
Hi-oh! From feminism to fangirling, the Jersey Ghouls cover all the bases of horror from a woman's perspective.
New episodes are uploaded every other Sunday.
Just search Jersey Ghouls to find us on social media and your favorite podcasting app.
And I stand on this. There's a reason for that. They wrote really good, catchy songs.
They also had, this is the other thing, because we did do a one-hit thunder on Stryper, because technically the song, honestly, was like a top 20 hit for them. But they had two songs on To Hell with the Devil, Free and Honestly, were both number one on Dial MTV, which was a daily MTV show of their most requested songs. And that has to be also just them convincing their fan base of like, we got to get more God on MTV.
Right.
Call in for Stryper.
Talk about some problematic lyrics. Yeah. The song "Free," the lyrics in that are very they're such a bummer. So on my way home, because I came home from work and I came right down here to do this thing.
Appreciate it.
Straight from work. And on my way home from work, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to listen to Stryper on the way home. I'm going to pump myself up for this. And I got all the way through Soldiers and I was like, I'm just going to keep going. So I threw on To Hell with the Devil and I'm like singing along to Free and I'm like, ew, ew, I don't like this at all.
Oh man, because
we're
definitely covering that next year for its 40-year anniversary. So I am making sure to make a note to not skip
past that
talking
one.
about the lyrics to Free. I'm gonna take.
You ought to have Micah.
You're free.
You ought to reach out. You ought to reach out to Micah for that one.
Okay, for sure.
I don't know if he'll do it or not because I know he's got some feels about Stryper these days. But
Fair enough.
he and in 5 Iron, he and I were the big Stryper fans. Like so when we got to meet them, it was at Cornerstone. They played Cornerstone.
Oh.
Okay.
And Micah and I went over because they were doing a meet and greet. And there's a picture of Micah and I with Robert Sweet, and we look like 13-year-old boys that just like are so we're in our 20s. Micah's got a full beard, and we're like,
but you're just so excited. I get it,
That's
dude.
awesome, yeah.
There's certain points where, like, I don't know, doing podcasting, I always feel like at a certain point it'll stop being cool that I get to like meet people that I'm a fan of.
Right.
And then like every once, like I remember when we were doing One Hit Thunder one time, our guest was Danny Tamborelli from Pete and all that, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm talking to this guy for an hour. This is insane. This is like Pete is still one of the best kids shows ever made, and this dude's like hanging out on a Zoom call with me for an hour to talk about some like obscure one-hit wonder from the 90s that he's a fan of. Like, just it's never stops being fun and wild. So I would not even shame on that. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely
I think
not.
there is every band. You could be Metallica, you could be the Beatles, and I think that there is a musician that Paul McCartney would geek out if he got to meet.
Yeah.
Like even as a Beatle, like there's always someone that's inspiring somebody.
I always get geeked out when any of 5 Iron Frenzy comes on, and I only heard them this year.
Yeah, because it's good.
It's good music.
So
that's debatable.
Sir, every time it's good music. I think because of like how much you guys also geek out on different bands and all of the knowledge that you bring behind it. Like, that means a lot, I think, to the average listener, and more than maybe you may know.
Did you guys, hold on a second, so the year that you were at Cornerstone and met Stryper, was that also the infamous you guys dressing as Stryper at Cornerstone, or was that a different? Okay.
No, that was we weren't dressed as Stryper. We were just dressed as heavy metal.
Gotcha,
so we
gotcha.
had three different costumes that we did on that tour, and one of them was heavy metal. I don't remember what the other two were.
Okay.
Yeah, and the To Hell with the Devil thing at the beginning of that, I mean, we're half, taking the piss a little bit.
Yeah.
But also half like, we like
homage.
The guys in 5 Iron, not me. My first 5 Iron, or my first Cornerstone trip was with 5 Iron. So, but the other guys were going to Cornerstone before that and going to see all the metal bands.
Yeah.
So they were going to see Bride and Deliverance and, Sacred Warrior and all these old school metal bands. I had to wait till they came to my local high school to see them play. Holy Soldier was another one.
So
Holy Soldier, yeah.
So we get to a little bit of a rough part. I agree with you that this song towards the end, Surrender, is great. But I think the wait that you have to go through between Waiting for a Love That's Real and then the second ballad, Together as One, I think that this is kind of the biggest dip on the album for me, or these two songs kind of back to back. But it's worth it because, man, I agree with you. Surrender rules.
Yeah.
Surrender was the only other song that I threw on like my I'm going to listen to this more playlist that I have on Spotify. Like when I hear a song that I like, I'm like, oh, this is going in like the mega list of music that's just always on shuffle 24 hours a day in my house. But yeah, I mean, the ballads are bad. Together is one. I literally just wrote another ballad I want to skip. But Waiting for a Love That's Real, I just thought was really fun.
The ballads were not great, but also lyrically because of that. But the voice, holy shit!
You really get to hear Michael Sweet's falsetto abilities.
Yeah.
There was one of the songs I thought was a woman singing the first verse, and then I was like, nope, that's just how falsetto-y you can get.
Yeah, and that's impressive.
My wife and I, we refer to those songs as "Jesus is my boyfriend" songs.
Yes, 100%.
It is really like, I remember as a kid watching South Park and being a little offended by the Cartman forms a Christian rock band episode, and now it's like, no, he wasn't wrong. Like, it was like all he did was take already popular love songs and just change it to be about Jesus instead of a woman, and he became a multi-million selling artist. And I'm like, yeah, that's basically what they do on these songs.
A lot of them, yeah. They're it's very much, I wrote this song, but I can't sell it in the Christian bookstore.
Right. I wonder how many...
Maybe I could change it. Maybe I can change it to be about Jesus.
I wonder how many 80s...
Can't make it. It wouldn't work if you made it about Mary. That would be a little bit sacrilege.
I wonder how many children born in the 80s were conceived to the sweet sounds of a love song about Jesus.
Stryper.
From Stryper.
Andy, maybe you have to take one of these songs that you learned by heart, and then like just change the lyrics, and then go by the band name Stryper.
There you go. Do the exact opposite of apologetics.
Call
Hey,
yourself
we're Stripper. We rip the God out of Stryper songs.
And just make them all filthy.
I mean, why not? You know, like the music does go freaking hard. So
I could think of one reason why.
Yeah,
not.
sure, that's fair. Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
We would get our asses. You get your asses.
Yeah,
I'm willing to bet that it's pretty. I'm willing to bet that the Sweet family is pretty litigious on that.
I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
There was a musician. I used musician lightly. There was a Philly comic / musician in the 2000s who just played Philly venues under the name Dirty Diamond, and his entire routine was just filthy covers of Neil Diamond songs. So it'd be like sweet cocaine lines,
That's genius.
It's brilliant. It was.
That is brilliant.
So
and he sounded like him. Like he did a spot on Neil Diamond voice, and just, sweet cocaine line.
God.
Oh God.
You can the 2000. We were talking about it before. The 2000s was a wild time for edgy comedy. All bets were off.
Here's the thing about the ballads is it's easy to clown on Stryper for the ballads, but every hair metal band had at least one ballad on the record.
Yeah.
Like it was.
That's the thing. It's
it
not
was
even
a prerequisite.
It's not like, I think Stryper's ballads are bad. I think all of the hair metal ballads are pretty bad.
I fucking hate ballads. Oh my God, I hate ballads so much. Every time I hear about it, I'm like, why? I almost hate you personally for writing this fucking
Now, there's
trash.
a difference.
I hate ballads so much.
Now, there is a difference, and this sounds crazy, but I remember that they sold a collection of albums like this. There's the ballad, and there's the power ballad. I got no beef with the power ballad. You know what I mean?
Nice, yeah.
Oh, I got beef.
Like, you give me Firehouse, don't treat me bad. I'm like, I'm into this. This is fine. It's the hey guys, the drummer's gonna go in the other room. We're gonna slow it down. We're gonna bust out this acoustic guitar.
What was the extreme song?
More Than Words.
Everybody everybody that owned an acoustic guitar learned that song, and I was just like, why?
But
out of all the songs you could learn, you learned this trash.
Here's the craziest thing about even More Than Words by Extreme, which I agree with you is a pretty bad. I think Chris described it as campfire music when we did that for One Hit Thunder. But again, because the guitarist in Extreme is such a good guitarist, the guitar solo in the song More Than Words is like kind of difficult. Like by guitar solo standards, because he's doing like triplets and shit, and that's solo for no reason. The song does not call for it to be such a difficult guitar solo. That's the one saving grace in that song. But yes, no, any time that the hair metal guy, I think because again, like we said, the most talented member in almost every hair metal band was the guitarist. And when you get to the ballad, you are literally stripping away the thing that they're good at. And they're playing basic ass chords. And then a lot of those singers aren't as good at singing as Michael Sweet.
Yeah.
Right. So when you have like these other popular
That's
80s
true.
hair metal bands singing their ballads, it's not even like a strong lead vocal happening on it. It's like, dude, we don't have the ability to cover up how bad you are at singing with our rock right now. You are just out there naked with a bad song now.
Here's and this will give you a little bit of insight on my level of hatred for ballads and power ballads. I also hate power ballads almost more than I hate regular ballads. As soon as the drum, the super reverbed drums, like, yeah, and it's always like that same fill, like, and then it really infuriates me. Danzig has ballads on those first 3 records, and the whole meme that's been going around on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, like when the song comes on that you need to skip, you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So shut up. When you skip it, you go, shut up, shut the fuck up. Every time. And like when the Black Album came out,
Oh, Nothing Else Matters.
there's a fucking ballad on it. And I was like, all right. So me, high school me, right? The last Metallica record I heard was Injustice for All. Not a great record, not a bad record, but not a great record. The closest thing to a ballad on that is One. And it's still freaking a badass
Yeah, it
tune,
still has one of the
right?
best
Because it's not a
breakdowns
ballad.
ever in music. That part
And
is
it's
insane.
It's still metal
Yeah.
because it's about a dude that lost his sight, his hearing, and his arms and legs. That's pretty fucking
Bleak. Yeah.
metal. It's super depressing,
Yeah.
bleak, right? And then, dude, seeing the
videos
album artwork
Yeah.
before it came out, the Black Album. Oh, there's it's all black and there's a snake on it. That's freaking cool. And then, like listening to the album and hearing track after track, like Sad But True and Wherever I May Roam, which was my favorite song on that record. And
even like Don't Tread on
And
Me
then I
and
got
Of
to
Wolf
Nothing
and
Else.
Man. Like there's some
Yeah.
really good songs in there.
Yeah.
But yes.
and then I get to Nothing Else Matters, and I was like, dude, no way Metallica wrote a ballad. No way. This is not happening. I think that was where we entered the tangent universe. All this shit that's happening
That's what
there,
happened?
all this shit that's happening now, that's where it started. It had to have been somewhere
Okay, so
around
91?
there.
Yeah,
Because
that
I
makes
was like,
sense.
no way they wrote a ballad.
Yeah. Do you want to
No.
know?
And then all of
Okay.
a sudden, all the jocks are metal fans
Yeah.
now. Like all the guys that picked on me for liking metal and
Right.
punk rock, now all of a sudden they're
Right.
metal fans. Definitely tangent universe material right there.
Do you want to know a fun fact about the song One by Metallica?
What
This
about
is
it?
one of my favorite little facts. That's this, according to Jack Black, that is the song that him and Cage were listening to when they decided to write the song Tribute. Like that's what the greatest song in the world is
okay.
that they are singing about that they forgot in the song Tribute in their minds.
Okay. I always assumed it was a Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah, no, he
But
said it
that's-
was them listening to One by Metallica and like him being like, this might be the greatest song in the world. And then I think Cage said something like, what if you wrote the greatest song in the world and then forgot that you wrote it? And then like that's like where that idea spiraled into that insane song.
The only ballad I ever liked in my life, and this is going to tell you something about me, because I hate this band now, but it was the song Beth.
By Kiss.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
And I was in sixth
Okay.
grade, and I had a crush on this
Aw,
girl,
what's your name?
and I no, her name
No,
was not
sorry.
Beth, but I would listen to the song and I would insert her name into
That's super cute,
Uh,
though.
That's the yeah, whatever. It's embarrassing.
Have you ever tried to write?
Beth, I hear you calling.
I was literally going to say, can we
Well, I
expect?
can't come home right
Can
now.
we expect a 5-iron ballad on the next album?
Written by Andy?
I'm not. I won't be fucking playing.
Well, it's a ballad, of course not.
You'll just write it. You'll write it.
True. What if I was the one that wrote the ballad?
Dude,
I'm
if you
saying.
wrote and sang the ballad, I
Whoa.
think it would be the highlight of the album.
Here's what I think you should do. I think you should write a ballad about how much you hate ballads and wish they could be better.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's another ballad that I like, but that's the only one that I like I said, I don't like it now, and I really don't like Kiss as a band. But that I do remember being really into that song.
Look, and you also can't deny, I don't like Kiss more than anybody else, really. Like, they're fine. But I will say that album, Destroyer, that Beth is on, is probably their best. So I do want us to wind down real quick, but Andy told me something, because Andy listens to our episodes. He always is letting me know his thoughts on the episodes, which I absolutely love, because he's always got some cool inside stories. But he told me one thing that I do want to ask him that has nothing to do with Stryper, and then we'll jump back to Stryper and wrap up. Katie.
Uh-oh.
I did not know this. 5-Iron Frenzy opened for Wesley Willis, who you may remember as the artist I taught you about the 5-Iron Frenzy song at the end of the W's CD that you were like, what is this? And I told Andy that I didn't want to hear anything more until we were recording.
Yes.
How did you guys end up opening for Wesley Willis?
Yeah.
So first of all, we were really into like super obscure weird stuff. Yeah. We would listen to weird stuff in our van driving, because you're driving for hours and you can't just keep listening to the same stuff, and so you get really into some weird strange stuff. That's how we got into Longmont Potion Castle. There's a guy called Shooby Taylor.
Okay. I feel like this explains why
we listen to the Shags.
I know the Shags
on the bus.
I always hear. I feel like this is also explaining to me why the people who I know who have been touring in bands for years are also all the biggest Ween fans that I know. Because I guess it is the same vibe. You're just like getting into the weirdest shit that you can to pass the time at a certain point.
And one thing about Ween, no album is the same.
No. They'll do a country album.
They are all so different.
I love them, despite the fact that often it feels like they're trying to hurt you with some of the songs.
It's true. It's true.
But okay, so you definitely discovered Wesley Willis in the search for weird stuff in the car, I'm guessing.
Right. So I got turned on to Wesley Willis by Keith. Keith was the one that put us on the Wesley Willis. And, like we all kind of are, I don't know. I mean, maybe a little borderline autistic.
Yeah. Everybody's got that little touch of the tism.
Because
we got a touch of the. We all
little
have
touch. But like to the point where it's like, I like this. I have to know everything about it.
That was me my whole life.
Yep.
Time to research.
And this is way before like Google and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we found out that Wesley Willis, he did all these drawings and stuff like that, and that he was schizophrenic. He's diagnosed schizophrenic, and but we, a little bit on a silly level liked his music, but also on kind of like a who's the director? Ed Wood, right?
Yeah.
Cut print. Like there is no trimming the fat on any of that stuff, on any of those movies. And it's kind of the same with Wesley Willis. So it was like, wow, this is like this weird kind of like expression of art through this guy who is a paranoid schizophrenic, and like on a not like a making fun of him punching down sort of way, but on like this is really cool that this guy is able to do this.
I feel like
even if some people are taking, even if some people are taking the piss out of him, like I'm not.
Yeah.
I was listening to it and going like, wow, like this guy is able to do this, and that's kind of
impressive.
Pretty cool. And he's got a lot of albums.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot like it reminds me a little bit of like the Daniel Johnston thing too. You know what I mean? Where it's like, dude could barely play an instrument and could barely sing, and he had a multitude of mental health issues. But like, man, what a lyricist.
Yeah.
You know, like you read those lyrics and you're just like, what an unbelievable lyricist for this. I think Wesley Willis kind of fell into that similar category where I wouldn't say that Suck a Cheetah's Dick is a lyrical masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, but like the desire, just the, like you said, the he's out there doing it and he's making it work and he's playing shows and he's putting out albums and like it's working.
And let me break it down. Let me break it down this way. What is art?
Exactly.
It's an expression of yourself. And if Suck a Cheetah's Dick is a true expression of what he was feeling in that moment, then that is legitimate, in my opinion. And maybe I'm just fucking stupid, whatever. But in my opinion, that is a honest expression of art.
Yeah,
much more honest than like, writing a rock opera about pants.
Yeah,
right.
Katie, you'll get to hear that next February.
I was
Strap in.
thinking.
So anyway, how we ended up opening for him was, do you know the band Christie Front Drive?
I don't think I do.
They're like a Midwest emo band. They're from Denver.
Okay.
And they had a practice space in downtown Denver that they used to throw shows at. It was actually the venue was called the Christie Front Drive Warehouse.
Okay.
And there was a show there, and it was Wesley Willis was the headliner, and Ben Hogan, which was a local band, a Denver local band, and then us. And we were the first band. And we played it. As soon as we heard open for Wesley Willis, I was like, I don't care if we have to pay you $50 to play at this show. I want to be on this bill. And we played a show with him. He played a very long set.
Yeah.
I did not have the wherewithal to sit through the entire thing. I kind of watched a few songs, went outside, watched a few songs, went outside. But afterwards, I can't remember what street it was on, but it's a downtown street, and he's, out there just kind of walking around. And I just went up to him and I said, Wesley, it's really nice to meet you, and I like your music. And he goes, say raw. And I went, raw. And he screamed and he headbutted me.
What?
And that's my Wesley Willis. That's my Wesley Willis.
Yeah, I needed that story on this podcast. So closing thoughts real quick on Stryper, Soldiers Under Command.
Can I mention one more thing about Wesley Willis?
Absolutely.
One of the bus drivers on the last tour was his caretaker.
Oh shit.
Well, I'm glad.
I did not really get along with this guy.
Okay.
At all, really. It was not a good experience, but he was his caretaker, and he did love Wesley.
Oh, good.
He loved him.
Yeah.
I don't think this guy was a bad guy. I just think he and I were oil and water, and we did not get along. But he was Wesley's, and we asked him some questions about him, and he did say a lot of people took advantage of him. This was after Wesley had passed.
Yeah.
And he talked about how he misses his best friend, and so he really did truly love Wesley, and I gotta give him props for that.
Sure,
for sure.
So. And I'm sure constantly being on the lookout and protecting him from all the stuff that he's already been through is probably hard enough as is.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's
it's
such
not
cool
great.
Stories, though.
Yeah. Well, Andy, you're definitely coming back on the show. We've already picked another topic. You're going to be back in almost a month from now for another topic that we have picked out. But real quick, closing thoughts on Stryper, Soldiers Under Command. I know you've told me that this is arguably one of your favorite records still. So just if people are listening and like me, they only really knew one or two songs. Like,
It's my favorite Stryper record.
Okay, that definitely changes.
It's
the,
one of
the
my
gauge.
favorite records. There is a sound on that Surrender in the solo is the first time I'd ever heard it. I wanted to talk about it because that solo in Surrender is probably, I mean, it's right up there with Wasted Years by Iron Maiden.
Okay.
Like this, just it is such a well crafted solo, and he does this thing where he goes that thing.
I'll insert the audio clip in here so that listeners can hear what you're talking about. But yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he does it by like flicking the whammy bar, and I had never heard that before. I've heard it since, but I don't know that I'd ever heard anybody do that before. I mean, Oz may have invented that shit. I don't know. But that was the first time I'd ever heard it, and I always referred, because it kind of sounds like crickets almost.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's like rattling. Yeah. So I always called it the cricket sound. And that would be interesting to find out whether or not like there's a recording of that prior to Soldiers, because that was the first time I'd ever heard it.
Interesting.
I think I've heard like Steve Vai do it, and Joe Satriani and some other Shredder guys, maybe George Lynch, but that was the first time I'd ever heard it.
I will definitely.
So I think he may have been. I think Oz may have invented some shit right there, which is pretty impressive.
I'm going to be on the lookout.
Very
now,
impressive.
That is impressive.
And lastly, this is coming out near the end of September. Are there any Five Iron shows that people should come out and say hello and that they love the podcast? I know you're doing my side in November. Is there anything else?
Yeah, November we're doing. November we have Millersville, which is an hour and 15 north of Philly. Yep. And then we're doing Asbury Park in Jersey. And the Philly show is on Five Iron Frenzy Day.
Woo!
And then Asbury Park, I can't remember the... Do you remember what the venues are?
House of Independence.
House of Independence.
And Phantom Power is where you guys are playing in Millersville.
Yes, that's right. We don't have anything else lined up for the rest of 2025, but we are putting together some pretty fun stuff for 2026.
Woo! Love it.
Sweet.
You may... I almost want to say it, but
you can. We'll stop recording, and then if you want to, you can.
Yeah,
but we won't. We won't get you in trouble with it being leaked on here.
No, but we'd also love exclusive.
Who knows? We might be getting some cool secret news. Who knows? Maybe
we're all very excited.
There might be fun. There might be some fun Five Iron Frenzy facts coming up. There's some alliteration for everybody.
I love
it. And we'll be back next week. Next week, Katie, we have one of your college friends joining us to talk about her weird church upbringing.
Yeah, an Assembly of God. Yeah.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that.
Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.